Money is such a big controversial topic, and it's not surprising because it raises a lot of debate in society. Capitalism, is that good or bad? How about Marxism, communism, socialism? These types of topics are huge. But then you also get, just in general conversation, even if someone's not in the intellectual world of this debate, they're still talking about the price of different things: inflation, gas prices, food prices. Everyone's worried about the cost of living. Well, here's the deal. I've had probably at least five different conversations this past 2 or 3 days on the topic of money. And I think as Christians, we need to not only have a good, thoughtful response about money and how to handle it and use it, but also have a framework that can help other people who need help. I know at least a couple of the conversations I had recently were people who struggled with knowing how to manage their money. And these are principles that the principles in how to manage money properly come from a biblical background or biblical perspective. And if you know how to manage your money, if you know the Bible, you know how to manage your money. And these principles come from the Bible, such as delayed gratification or frugality, not trying to impress other people, giving. These types of things are very important. But oftentimes in society, we have this view of money as being greedy. If you have money, you are a greedy, money-loving person, without understanding that no one has a big, huge pile of money in their backyard that they go swimming in every day, like Scrooge McDuck. Rather, most people have money in some sort of investment that helps other people. And once you start understanding that, all of a sudden a lot of the debate goes away because that money is tied up in someone else's hands to help that business or that person do better. For example, I own some real estate properties, and while they do increase in value over time, what happens is that because we own some properties that people rent out from us, we're able to not only make a little bit of cash flow and build some equity into the property, but also we're providing housing for other people. We get rewarded for actually investing or putting our time and effort into these properties for other people. We're helping other people, and then they give us a exchange of something that we call cash or money for them living in our property that we own. So with that in mind, all suddenly money becomes a different thing. Instead of a greed, it also all suddenly becomes a giving. The stock market is no difference. When you put your money in the stock market, that money is not at your fingertips anymore. You're not spending it. You're giving it to someone else to letting them use it. You're renting it out for someone else, just like your house or anything else. You're renting it out for other people. So the issue isn't that someone who has a lot of wealth, Elon Musk or you name the person, yes, they own a lot of equity into different companies, property or whatnot, farmers and stuff like that. But the issue is not that they're greedy. The issue is that people who look at them with envy and lust for their wealth are the greedy people, are the envious people. That's not, it's two totally different things. The people who have money oftentimes are the people that think the least about money and the most wisest with their money. Not always, but oftentimes it's that way. The people who are constantly struggling day in, day out, week in, week out, they cannot get ahead financially, are the people that think about money constantly because they constantly need the next dollar to buy the next gimmick or piece of clothing or whatever to make their life, quote unquote, better. But then you go over to their house or you go see them and their life is not anything better. It's actually way worse because they've spent all their money on different things in life. And so, but all this time, they've been thinking about other people who have a lot of money. They're wanting to take other people's money to give it to themselves so they can live life. All the while, they have not been managing their money properly. So, so my goal in this channel as a whole is to help people not only think at this level of, oh, how can I um, get my money up to speed, pay off my debts, and get my life settled, such as like a Dave Ramsey approach where you're building a budget, paying off high interest debts, but go beyond that. And that's what my goal here is, to go way beyond that, is to help people think about money in a different way, in a Christian way, where you are not worshiping money, you're not serving money. Rather, money is a tool, like any other tool, a hammer, a car, a firearm. It doesn't matter. Money is a tool that can be used for good or for bad. But in this channel, I want to make sure we're using it for good. Now, anything that is a tool can be also dangerous as well. So money can be dangerous. Um, Loans can be dangerous. Um, Investing can be dangerous. All these things have risk associated with it. But doing nothing or just spending it on goods and services is also a risk as well, because now you don't have it anymore. So how can we manage this? That's what I really want to talk about here. But the last thing, well, not in this video, but in the future videos, the last thing I really want to put, get across is that so many times people talk about giving to other people. And first off, as a person who has a wife and kids, if you're a guy and have a wife and kids, you, or even a bigger family than that, you have the responsibility as a husband or as a parents to be taking care of your family, to take care of your kids. Now, what's that look like? Well, that's debatable, and I have my opinion on that, and I will be sharing that as we go along here. Things that, as a as a dad, I don't plan on quote unquote paying for my children's college education. Now, I might help them if they do want to, but I'm not planning on paying for that education. I'm not sending them to every extracurricular activity to get them as much socialization as possible. Those just all waste of money. Not all waste of money, but a lot of it's waste of money for me for this extracurricular stuff. There might be certain things that might be good, but that's not my goal. That's not my vision. My vision is not to even just retire and go just do nothing with my life and go play golf for the rest of my life. That does not sound interesting to me. And as a Christian, that does not sound right as well. My life should have much more meaning than just playing golf all day long. Now, I'm not against playing golf once in a while, but I think you get the point. If you don't, ask me down below. I'll try to clarify that. My point, saying all this though, is that my view on money is this: is that if you don't have money, if you don't have some sort of um, this element, this item that we call money that has value to it that we can transfer back and forth to each other, if we don't have a cup full of that, we cannot give to other people. If you don't have a cup full of coffee, you can't, you don't have any, you're constantly asking other people for coffee. If you don't have a pantry full of food, you can't give to other people. Same with money. If you don't have money, you cannot give to your family. You can't give to your kids. You can't give to your spouse. You can't give to the neighbor. You can't give to the person down the road who is needing help, someone who has medical bills, someone who has a house that burnt down, or whatnot. When you have money, you're able to give money to a church to help them build on a new wing. Those are the people with wealth, the people with money are able to do that, not the person who is struggling day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year with money, who has no plan and idea. So you have to have a cup full before I can splash onto other people. Now, can you be giving at any stage? Of course you can. But if you're constantly struggling, you really can't give much. Wisdom, delayed gratification, contentment, not trying to impress the Joneses next door will go a long way in helping you start understanding how money actually works and when you should spend and when you should not spend your money. And when you have this plan in place and your mindset in place and a philosophy in place, all of a sudden now you have some money that you can help other people. You can actually impact the community around you. You can impact your family's legacy for generations potentially if you set things up right. And that's my goal here, is to do all those things. Now, tell me down below on where you would want this channel to go. I'm just going to give you a big backdrop just so you know. So I've been doing real estate investing for over half a decade. I've been investing in the stock market for probably 2 or 3 decades now, over 2 decades. So this stuff is not necessarily new to me, but I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly updating how I'm thinking about stuff. And right now, where I'm thinking about this channel is I'm thinking about a number of different things. I'm thinking about having a view of it is not as financial advice, because I'm no financial advisor. I'm no expert in this. It's just things that I've learned over the years that I am applying in my life. And I'll actually take you on the journey of where I'm at right now. I wanted to talk about something in the future, which I'm going to seed to you right now, is what I would call like maybe portfolio banking or leverage velocity investing. And this is where that's kind of where I'm moving my attention right now in my personal life. And what I'm going to do with this, without getting into the weeds of what this is all about, and I'll maybe do that for another video, is I'll give you a high level view of what I want to do with this. Number one is I want to really push investment stacking, where you're using every dollar multiple times to invest more wisely with the money that God has granted me to have. So that's number one. Investment stacking is a huge thing that I think a lot of people miss. A lot of people think that they can just split that dollar bill up into different categories, and this goes here, this goes there, that goes there, and that's a good budget for most people. But if you want to go one level higher, I think we needed to go into investment stacking. And I've been doing this for years. I'll go into more detail on some examples. But I'm using my investments now, the stock market, ETFs, as another real estate property. So that's where I'm going with. I'm building out a portfolio that acts much like a real estate property, a house that I'm furnishing, or I'm getting all ready, reflooring, repainting, putting new gadgets in there, whatever, so I can rent out to make cash flow and build equity. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now with ETFs in the stock market. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join me on this journey. I'll be talking about rental properties, talking about money in general, the Christian view of money, and this latest thing where I call portfolio banking or leverage velocity investing, where I am going to hopefully maximize my investments, number one. Number two is stack investments as well, which again, I've been doing this for years, and now I think I have a system that's put together a little closer to where I want to go going forward. Tell me your thoughts down below. Does this sound interesting to you? What's your thoughts? What questions do you have about this specifically? What the things I said? Because I did not go very deep. I just went really high level. But I talked a lot about different things. So talk to me about down below what your thoughts are, and talk to you next video.